This is the generation of them that seek him.
The word of God says in Psalm 32 that he will accomplish you
At the age of 5 years old, Ratoya was taking piano, and even a little earlier than that. And I thought about that, and a number of her instructors always said, this girl is gifted. And I really discovered it, believe it or not, when Ratoya would get angry. She would go downstairs and play the piano and sing along with it and really get into it. And that time we noticed that she really was developing a gift.
My parents put me in private lessons, and I enjoyed it for the first 5 years or so, and then I wanted to quit. I wanted to let it go because I got older, and I said, I'm too old for this. But, I wanted to quit. I wanted to let it go. But my music teacher told my parents, don't let her quit. She has a gift for music. Do not let her quit. And so my parents really heeded to that word, and they made me stick in there. And so I continued to play. My father began the ministry, Edify Christian Ministries, and he asked me to play the piano for the ministry, and I said no. I did not want to do that at all. I just really did not want to do that. But as the time went by, I said, the piano was sitting in front of the church. I said, this is crazy. I should sit down and play. And I began to play, and I began to play for the praise and worship team. But I remember just in that time that even when life was hard or when I would get upset, I would always go to the piano. I would go to the piano and I would begin to play. And during those times of me being broken or disappointed, I would hear music and I would hear songs. And so even started from that place of, I would say, not being a good place in life, the Lord will begin to just minister through my fingers and through my voice while I was sitting at the piano in my house. And so I started playing at the church, and it started there. And I continued, to minister for the praise and worship team. Well, I did the call, I would say about 5 years ago officially. But the way I look at it is for a long time, even when I first began my walk with the Lord, I really had a passion to see people receive Jesus Christ in their heart and for them to be, healed and set free. And so I realized that even as I grew in Him, that my passion for souls, it just increased. And it got to the point where I began to just minister to people on my own time, and as the Lord would lead me. And eventually I just informed my pastor that, I really feel like I'm called to ministry. And he asked me, how do you know you're called? And I told him, my greatest desire in life is to see people really get to know the Lord and really to have the fullness of God in their heart, and to really be released from any type of bondage in their lives. And that was one of my driving passions for life. And so when I told him that was in 2005, I believe. And then about a year later, I entered into ministry. And so that's where it all began. But it started before I received the title of minister. It was just in my heart that I knew that God needed me in the earth to just present Him to other people. I wouldn't say it was a big transition because, like I said before I had the title, I was teaching Bible study in different places and ministering to people on my own time. So now it's like just moving into the place where you have the title. And so it wasn't a big transition, but of course when you move into ministry, there's additional responsibilities that you have. But I would say to anybody, that's released their call to minister, just to let the Lord use you on your own time, and as you grow in Him, and God will reveal that to your leaders, and then it won't be as such a big transition because it'll just be who you are. You just know that you're called.
Shouted from the mountain that you are holy.
This is the generation of them that seek him.
Sing it for
Working with the True Worship Experience movement as the MD, as the musical director, has definitely been an experience. It's been a journey. Working with some great musicians and some great worshipers, guys that just have a heart for God and also great talent in music. Over here to the left, we have David Edge, who's been on lead guitar. We have Stan, the man on the drums, our drummer. And then over here to the right, we have Jared, who has been on trumpet, holding down the horn section for us. And we also have Devin Gray, who's on the keyboard, as well as Chris Alexander, who's on keys, and also Mike Brewington, who is another one of our drummers. So it's just been a great experience. One thing that makes the True Worship Experience movement different is we have musicians from all over the city, Washington, D.C., guys coming from Baltimore, just all working together to work on and to make this project, and it's been such a great experience. We're unique in that we have actually 3 MDs, 3 musical directors in the group. So we've been able to really mesh together and worship the Lord in unity and in agreement. We have Stanley Banks, who's a musical director for Enduring Praise. Also Devin Gray, who's a music director for Set Apart. And then myself, who's a music director here. So that's 3. But we've been able to work together and really worship the Lord and have a good time as a group. What I really like about working with the twin band True Worship Experience movement is the unity and the agreement. We have really been working hard on this music and for this CD release. We've had some late night rehearsals, some overnight rehearsals, some studio time, and what I really love about it is everybody's attitude. Everybody comes in ready to worship, ready to work, going home practicing. You never have to call and say, hey, where are you? What are you doing? This band, this ministry is really dedicated to the vision, and that's to see people worship and experience worship in spirit and in truth. And it's really been a blessing to work with these musicians and the vocal team and Latoya Williams, everyone who's so serious about this movement. It's just been a great thing.